Welcome back, friends, for the very first Whitleypedia Dice Tower game review. I've only just contributed segments to Board Game Breakfast. I did my top 100 early this year, but I'm very delighted Tom's given me the opportunity to do this, my first review of a game. Now, the game which I've done, which you can see up there on the title, is Star Trek Panic by USAopoly, right? I'm kind of known as a little bit of a sci-fi nerd on a channel full of nerds. I actually also write for a website called Trek Movie, the leading fan site for Star Trek news, which I have some information right there, and you're welcome to go check us out over there. So this is an opportunity for my worlds to collide. How does this hold up from a board game standpoint? How does it hold up from a Star Trek fan standpoint? And how is it going to hold up for you in your missions throughout the Final Frontier? Now, what I'd like to do, for those of you who aren't familiar while I'm setting up the board here, is do a little bit of an overview of Castle Panic. This isn't the same theme as Castle Panic, not the same theme, same mechanics as Castle Panic, and Zombie Panic. Now, the idea is you have this central location here in Castle Panic. It's obviously a castle, and you have guys attacking you. This is similar, except it's the Starship Enterprise from the original TV show. Now, my first concern when I learned about this is it makes sense for a castle which is stationary to have this kind of a dynamic. How is it going to work when you have a ship which is meant to be flying through space? And actually, it works pretty well. It also helps that it comes with this awesome replica, which you make yourself, of the Enterprise. With, instead of castle walls, it's got these little indicators for shields. When you take damage, here, look, you got that to hurt the shield. When the Enterprise itself takes damage, you got these. Look how cool that is. When the Enterprise itself, section of it gets exploded, you put this on here and indicate, nope, sorry, it's gone. So just a quick summary of the Castle Panic rules. The way it works is you will have a variety of enemies that will show up in one of the different quadrants here. Right here, you know, they'll be showing up like this. And you will use cards as attacks to try to destroy these ships as they get closer before they hit you. When they hit you, you start to die, you accumulate damage. It's a terrible thing. Accordingly, for a Star Trek themed game, we have 3 different types of enemy ships. We have Romulans. There, you got your Romulan ship there. We have Klingons there. Oh, here you got your Klingon ship here. And then, what's the third one going to be? You know, those are the 2 big ones, but we also have Tholians, which are little Tholian ships, if you remember those. Yeah, exactly. Just like in Castle Panic, we have these different cards that we use to shoot people as they attack our castle, or in this case our ship. See, this is medium range front phasers. That'll let us shoot enemies that are right there. Side phasers, that doesn't really make as much sense, but we've got those right there. Oh, look, we got a security team. If ships ever get all the way to the Enterprise, you need the security teams to repel them. Look at this glorious multi-ethnic cast of red shirts all just waiting to become an internet cliche. There we got the rear phasers to shoot. We got your medical scanner. That lets us get additional cards. Oh, look at that. Short range any-facing phasers. That'll save you when you're in trouble. Okay, now something else that I appreciate. Let's see if there's other interesting ones. Okay, we got your dilithium. Use that to repair shields. You got your tritanium. You use that to repair the hull. What else we got here? Oh, look, Nurse Chapel. She makes an appearance. All players draw 1 Enterprise card, of course. That's useful. Force field. Would you really want to go into space without your force field? Time travel. Oh, I haven't used that one yet. That'd be good. We also have various mission cards that we're trying to achieve while defending the ship from invaders. And this adds a little bit of an extra dynamic to the game because it's more than just shooting stuff as it comes by. Moreover, you know, Star Trek is supposed to be about peaceful coexistence and stuff like that, so you don't want it to be just shooting. So here is a mission where we try to find a mystery ship You see we've got 4 turns to accomplishment before bad things happen. Here we need to discover strange new worlds. We have 6 rounds to accomplish that. And then something that I like is here the mission objectives. The way we accomplish them is by dedicating cards to it according to the different divisions. You know, we've got the engineering, science, and then command. So if something you'll notice on these cards over here is there'll be the way you can spend them, right, to attack ships as they're coming in, or there's the way you can commit them to help with the missions. Like, see, that's a science credit, another science credit. Look there, we can spend that as a command, or it's the security team to repel the borders. Look, oh, there's a medical credit. We need that for some of them. Okay, some of the other missions. Oh, okay. Look at the theme upon theme we have here. We've got the Trouble with Tribbles one. Look how hard it is to accomplish that one. You need to dedicate 5 different cards to it. The Doomsday Machine. Not only do we need to commit those different staff cards to it, but we need a little bit of titanium, a little bit of dilithium, and we need to rig it to the Doomsday Machine to destroy it. Some missions will have specific pieces that come out when you get them, such as the Orion Raider here. Oh, look, there we got a Space Amoeba. Appreciate that. Where would we be without Space Amoebas? There's your Doomsday Machine right there. So when the Doomsday Machine mission comes out, then you'll put this one on the board and you'll have to interact with it. See, what else do we got? Oh, we've got Nomad, of course, from the classic episode The Changeling. There's just a generic ship. Where are you going to be without that? Alien, that kind of looks like V'ger. I think that's V'ger, right? And then we have the disabled ship here. Some of these missions are named after specific episodes here, such as the Immunity Syndrome. Oh, the Enemy Within. See, that's where it gets split into 2. You have 6 rounds to accomplish that. When you accomplish these missions, you can get a specific reward, which can help you in fending off the ship. Now, your requirement to win the game, which is, of course, cooperative, is you need to accomplish a certain number of missions before the Enterprise gets destroyed. And then after you've accomplished that number of missions, you just have to survive the rest of the round, get rid of any remaining enemy ships, and then you're good. Just like in Castle Panic, we have these really nice cards here that tell us the turn order. Everybody gets one of these. You should walk through it. It's very easy to teach people. See, these are all the same. There are 6. You can play with up to 6 people. The best is probably 4. In addition to that, everyone assumes the role of a specific senior staff member of the original Enterprise. Here you can be Chekhov. He's got a special ability. You can play, when you play cards and maneuver cards, you can deal 1 additional damage to a target attack with a phaser card, so he's good at shooting. Spock, when you draw new threats at the end, you can draw 3, so he's good at being able to avoid potential threats. Kirk, oh, what does Kirk do? During the play cards and maneuver phase, first time you commit a card to the mission each turn, draw 2 Enterprise cards. So he's very resourceful. He's drawing extra resources. Dr. McCoy, he can search through the discard pile for 1 security team card and add it to your hand. So thematically, he's able to bring the dead red shirts back to the fight, right? Because he's a doctor. Okay. Yeah, Scotty, of course, he's good at repairing the ship. Sulu, he's good at maneuvering. And then Uhura, I actually think she's the best one. During the play cards maneuver phase, look at the top 2 cards of the Enterprise deck, draw 1 and put the other back on top or bottom of the deck. So she's able to do a little bit more card deck management there, as we'd say. Now, one of the things that makes this a little different from Castle Panic or Zombie Panic is because the ship is meant to be moving, you can maneuver it once per turn. You can turn it clockwise one way or counterclockwise one way, according to this hexagonal layout setup here, or you can actually move forward. That can be a little bit dangerous, though, because if you move forward, any of the ships that are in front of you will move toward you. Simultaneously, however, any of the ships that are behind you won't move farther away. So it can be a little dangerous. However, for accomplishing some missions, you need to maneuver in closer to ships that you're trying to help or dock with or whatever, so you'll need to do that. Okay, now one of the challenges that always crops up in Star Trek-related board or card games is how do you deal with the challenge of the cloaking device. The thing is, the cloaking device is intended to provide some narrative tension. The idea is that our heroes can't see the bad guys, so it's a little more dangerous. And like when they first introduced the cloaking device, it's meant to be like a submarine captain battle of wills type of thing, where it's not just how do we shoot this guy, but how do we find and outwit this guy. So the way they handle cloaking in this is a ship with a cloak, which is indicated which is indicated thusly with the blue barrier there, or perimeter, is you'll put a ship with the cloak right here. On the round on the second round, it'll disappear, it'll cloak like that, and then you'll roll a dice, and it'll either move clockwise or counterclockwise or stay here, so you're not sure, you can't exactly prepare for it, and then it'll reappear. So you get one round where you're not able to shoot at it, so that makes it a little more tense for you to be able to shoot it when you can. Otherwise it closes in, and then there can be trouble. When ships close in, what they'll do is, however many hit points they have, like this has 2 hit points here, it'll do that many points of damage to your shields. Your shields can take 1 hit, and they're damaged, and second hit, and then they're gone. So if this is able to hit a fully functional shield, and beware the comet. There is a comet that comes out and just destroys everything in its path. Any enemy ships, which can be good, but it also destroys any shields you have left. If you're exposed, then it'll come in and it'll destroy a section of the hull. So be careful. Comets are deadly, deadly things. Just like in real life.
So, this is a spaceship. You ever run into Halley's Comet?
How does this hold up to Castle Panic? I think it's much better. I think it takes the elements of that game that work well, and it builds on it with more mechanics that make it a little more dynamic and a little more challenging. So, absolutely, it's a Castle Panic killer for me. Moreover, in terms of the theme, I think the way they do the mission cards makes it so that it works and feels more Star Trek-y. Because if it were just flying around shooting stuff, I think it would feel thematically off. But one of the missions is even make peace with the Klingons, and for the entire time that the countdown is running, you're not allowed to shoot at any Klingon ships, right? So you're taking this sort of pacifistic approach. So, as a gamer, as a Star Trek fan, I give this an A. In fact, I give it an NCC 1701A.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.